Greetings! Manta79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright then, pressing the A button now,
Cardfight Vanguard
loading game, and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Dark States, Avaricious, Demonic Dragon, Greedon, D-BT03. So first, create new deck. Choosing nation, I'm choosing Dark States. Okay, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Dark States, Avaricious, Demonic Dragon, Greedon deck, composed of cards only available up until D-BT03. So, alright, let's begin. First up, go to filter settings, pack, show only cards from D-BT01, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT02, A Brush with the Legends, D-BT03, Advance of Intertwined Stars, and Festive Collection 2021, apply filter. Alright, then first up, the grade 3 lineup for the creators of this deck we're playing. Right deck, grade 3, Avaricious Demonic Dragon, Greedon. His skills are, first skill, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has an Avaricious Demonic Dragon, Greedon, the number of cards in your damage zone for you to lose becomes 7. And second check, auto as a Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked, Soul Blast 2 and put 4 standing rear guards into your soul. If the cost them hate, stand this unit. If your soul has 10 or more cards, this unit gets plus 15,000 power. So for Greedon, he's the main grade 3 to run in his deck, his first skill. As long as you've got Greedon in your soul, you'll be able to change the amount of cards you need to lose in the game from 6 to 7. And the second skill, after attacking, by paying a cost of Soul Blasting 2 and sending 4 of your standing rear guards to the soul, you'll be able to restand your Vanguard Greedon for another attack. And after restanding, if your soul has 10 or more cards, you can get plus 15,000 power. So ideally, Greedon's second skill is a good way to attack multiple times your Vanguard, both with twin drive checks and to also potentially give your Vanguard more power if you manage to build up a large number of cards in your soul. So for Greedon, we're playing 4 of him and playing 1 the right deck. Next up, the grade 3 Time Jarrett Dragon. His skill, auto, when placed on the rear guard, cost, put a card from your hand into the soul. If the cost is paid, draw a card. So for Time Jarrett, he's a good way to restock your cards with more soul, your soul with more cards, and to draw a card. So Time Jarrett will help you more or less build up your soul for Greedon's second skill when to get more power, and also it's a good way to get a specific card you wish to have in your soul and to restock your hand later. So for Time Jarrett, we're playing 4 of him. Next up, the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s of this deck, we're playing the grade 2 right deck, Desire Devil Bushiroad. His skills are, first skill, auto, when ridden upon by Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. Cost, put a card from your hand into the soul. If the cost is paid, search your deck for a card of the same name as this card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Second skill, continuous from the soul. During your turn, if your damage zone is 4 more cards, then the Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon in your Vanguard circle gets plus 5,000 power. So for Bushiroad, he's the main grade 2 to ride his deck. His first skill, just by riding Greedon on the top of him, by paying the cost, you can search your deck for another Bushiroad and add to your hand. So it's a good way to get another attacker from your front row thanks to the additional Bushiroad and the second skill from the soul. Once you have 4 more cards in your damage zone, Greedon gets plus 5,000 power with Bushiroad in the soul. And the best part is, Bushiroad's skill is stackable. If you have multiple Bushiroads in your soul, it's possible to keep stacking more power into your Vanguard for each one in your soul. So for Desire Devil Bushiroad, we're playing 4 and putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, the grade 2 Crimson Expeller. His skills, first skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, soul charge 1, and second skill, action from the soul, counter blast 1 and put this into your drop zone. If the cost is paid, soul charge 1, then choose one of your Vanguards. It gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Expeller, he's a pretty good card to have in your Greedon deck. For his skills, the first skill, just by attacking a Vanguard, regardless if it hits or not, you can soul charge 1. And second skill, his skill can be activated from the soul by counterblasting and soul blasting him from your soul. Not only can you soul charge to replace him, but also give your Vanguard plus 10,000 power. So Expeller is a good way to restock your soul and to give your Vanguard Greedon more power to work with for its multiple attacks. For Expeller, we're playing 4 of him. Next up, The Grade 2, Desire Devil Muka. His skills are, first skill, auto. When placed in the rearguard circle from hand, if your Vanguard is Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon. Cost, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. If the cost is paid, choose a card from your soul and call to rearguard circle. And second skill, auto, as a rearguard. When your Vanguard attacks, if your Persona wrote this turn, choose one of your Vanguards and it plus 5,000 power. So for Muka, he's a support card for the Greedon deck. His first skill, just by calling from your hand while Greedon is your Vanguard. By paying the cost, you can superior call any card from your soul to the rearguard. Thus, you can get a specific rearguard you wish to have from your soul to attack with or to use its skill for. And second skill, when attacking your Vanguard while Muka's in your rearguard, if your Persona rolled that turn, Muka can add 5,000 power to your Vanguard until the end of the turn. So for Muka, he's a good way to increase your Vanguard's attack power for its multiple attacks. And the best part is, it's stackable. If you have multiple Mukas in your rearguard when attacking your Vanguard, you're able to use Muka's skill to just keep on stacking power to your Vanguard for every Muka in the rearguard. So for Desire Devil Muka, we're playing 3 of him. And now for the Great 1 lineup. For the Great 1s in this deck, we're playing the right deck. Great 1, Desire Devil Gomon. His skills are, for skill, auto. When this unit is ridden upon by Desire Devil Boshoku, cost, reveal an Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon from your right deck, draw a card. And second skill, auto. When this unit is put from the rearguard circle into your soul by your Vanguard's ability, if your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, cost, Counterblast 1, if the cost is paid. Until the end of the turn, when your opponent would call cards from their hand to the Guardian Circle, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So for Gomon, he's the main Great 1 to ride his deck. His skills, first skill, just by riding Boshoku on top of him, and by revealing a Greedon from your right deck, you can draw a card. So it's pretty much a no cost to get an extra card for the first skill. And the second skill, when placed from your rearguard to your soul by your Vanguard's ability, for example Greedon, as long as your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or more, by paying a counterblast of 1 until the end of the turn, whenever your opponent wishes to guard from their hand, they must guard 2 more cards. So Gomon is a good way to restrict your opponent's defensive options by using the second skill. So for Gomon, we're playing 4 of him, putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Great 1, Steam Battler Gungrum. His skills are, first skill, auto. When placed on the rearguard circle, Soul Charge 1. And second skill, action, as a rearguard, once per turn, Soul Blast 3. If the cost is paid, draw a card. So for Gungrum, he's a pretty good card to play in your Dark States decks. First skill, just by calling to the rearguard, you can Soul Charge 1. And second skill, by paying 3 Soul Blasts, draw a card. So Gungrum is a good way to build up your soul for cards that require a high number of soul cards or to simply Soul Blast with. And his second skill, as long as you don't mind paying the cost of Soul Blast 3, you can restock your hand with more cards. So for Gungrum, we're playing 4 of him. And next up, the Great 1, Desire Devil Incane. His skills are, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, if your Persona rolled that turn, Soul Charge 1. And second skill, auto. When this unit is put from the rearguard into your soul for your Vanguard's ability, Counterblast 2, if the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets plus 5,000 power, and drive plus 1 until the end of the turn. So for Incane, he's a support card for your Greedon deck. For skill, just by calling after Persona riding, you can Soul Charge 1. And second skill, when placed in the rearguard into your soul by your Vanguard skill, for example Greedon, by paying the cost of Counterblast 2, not only can your Vanguard get plus 5,000 power, but an additional drive check. So it's possible to drive check at least 3 cards for your Vanguard thanks to Incane's skill. So for Incane, we're playing 2 of him. And next up, the Great 1, Recusal Hate Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard. His skills are, first skill, Continuous, Sentinel. You may have only up to 4 cards of Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until the end of the battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Recusal Hate, he's a perfect guard for the Dark States Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with, by discarding a card from your hand, you can completely block one enemy attack. And he also features an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Recusal Hate a no-cost perfect guard for desperate last resort situations. So for Recusal Hate, we're playing 4 of him. And now for the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s to this deck, we're playing The right deck, Grade 0, Desire Devil Taida. His skill is auto. When ridden the pond, if you hit second, draw a card. So for Taida, he's the starter unit with his deck just by riding atop of him. If you went second, draw a card. So we're playing one Taida and putting it in the right deck. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing the Grade 0, Flinty Slasher, critical trigger, playing 4 per. Next up, the Grade 0, Stem Deviate Dragon, critical trigger, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units. It gets plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So for Steam Deviate, he's a powerful critical trigger to have in your Dark States deck. His skill, just by boosting an attack, regardless if it hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Steam Deviate into your soul after boosting, you can get plus 2,000 power to another unit in your field, like your Vanguard or rear guard. So Stem Deviate is a good way to restock your soul for more soul blasts, or to simply give another attacker a little extra power to work with. So for Stem Deviate, we're playing 4 of it. Next up, the Grade 0, Diablos Gross Natalia, front trigger. Her skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Natalia, she's a powerful front trigger to play in your Dark States deck. Her skill, just by guarding with her while you have your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5,000 shield, making Natalia a 20,000 point shield all by herself. So for Natalia, we're playing 3 of her. Next up, the Grade 0, Steam Scara Malnigal, heal trigger. We're playing 4 of her. And last but not least, the Grade 0, Hades Dragon, Deity of Resentment, Galmech Hell, over trigger, skill trigger additional effect. You get during your turn, all your Vanguards get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until the end of the fight. So for Galmech Hell, he's a more or less the over trigger for the Dark States Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But it also features a skill that's unique to him. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the rest of the fight, all your Vanguards get plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical. So Galmech Hell, ideally, it's best revealed as soon as possible in your turn during a drive check. For the sooner you reveal him in your drive check, for the rest of the fight, your Vanguard will have extra 10,000 power and plus 1 critical to work with, making it easier to pressure your opponent and to finish them off later on. So for Galmech Hell, we're playing 1, okay. The deck has been built, card effects explained, so let's save the deck. Alright, next up, for the deck cards in this deck, we're playing 4 Grade 3 Time Jarrett Dragon, 4 Grade 3 Avaricious Demonic Dragon Greedon, 4 Grade 2 Crimson Expeller, 4 Grade 2 Desire Devil Boshoku, 3 Grade 2 Desire Devil Muka, 4 Grade 1 Steam Battler Gungram, 4 Grade 1 Recusal Hate Dragon, 2 Grade 1 Desire Devil Incane, 4 Grade 1 Desire Devil Goman, and 1 Grade 0 Desire Devil Taida starting unit. And now for the triggers in this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and last but not least, the over trigger Galmech Hell. Alright, deck built, card effects explained, so let's get on to testing out the deck. But first off, let's change the deck's name. Changing deck name to Greedon, Greedon, save. Alright, now we just changed the deck sleeves. For the sleeves of this deck, we're playing a what to use. Using the Greedon sleeve as the right deck sleeve, press Y. And for the main deck sleeves, we're using the Dark States Nation sleeve as the main deck sleeve, press A. Alright, so deck built, card effects explained, deck renamed and card sleeves changed. So let's get on testing out the deck. So leaving the edit deck menu. Back to main menu, going to fight menu. CPU fight. Choosing the deck I just built. Greedon. And now choosing an opponent. For my opponent for this deck, I'm going to be using it against, let's see. I guess I'll use it against Kuro Minato, normal difficulty. There we go. So the battle begins, get started. I'm going to be deciding who goes first, so rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to paper, one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock to rock, one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Again, scissors, scissors, one more time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to paper, I win, going first. Nice. Drawing starting hands. I'm gonna redraw a front and critical. Redraw. Okay, not bad. Stand at the Vanguard. I draw. I'm going to ride for my right deck, Desire Devil Goman. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding a... Critical trigger. Right. Goman. End of turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. He rides. The Great One, Tier Square Sorceress. Base skill, he draws a card. Alright. Then he calls a rear guard. Skill. He rests. Leave a card on top. Okay. Bang with the Vanguard. No guard, take the hit. And he drive checks a. No trigger. Alright. So here comes 1 damage. Ow. Damage check. Critical trigger, yes! I give all effects to my Vanguard. Now the remaining rear guard cannot attack. Alright, so now it's my turn. I draw. I'm going to discard from my hand Desire Devil Bushoku. For the right deck cost, I discard Time Jarrett Dragon. Right Bushoku. Goman skill. I reveal Greedon in my right deck. And draw an extra card. I drew a perfect guard. Nice. So next up, I'm gonna call... Let's see. I'm gonna call Incane to the rear guard. Next up, I call Gunrum to the rear guard. Gunrum skill, I soul charge 1. Soul charge a... Alright, in my soul I got Goman, not bad. Then I'm gonna call Expeller to the rear guard. Alright, that should do it. Beginning battle phase. First up, Gunrum attacks the rear guard. Fasiata. 1 rear guard down. And now Expeller attacks the Vanguard. Skill, soul charge 1. I'm soul charging a perfect guard, not good. Okay. 1 damage to my opponent. Damage check. No trigger, okay. Now boosted by Incane, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 18k. Drive check. No trigger, Greedon, not bad. And now damage check, no trigger. Alright, end of turn, my opponent's turn. Now he rides the Great 2, Pentagon Sorceress, Tier Square skill, he draws a card. Now he calls the Great 2, Owain and Fasiata. Alright. The rear guard attacks the Vanguard. No guard, take the hit. Here comes. Ow! Damage check. Yes! Critical trigger! I give all effects to my Gunrum. Okay, now the Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. No guard, gonna take the hit. Drive check. Ah, no, not a front trigger. Come on. He gives power to his front row, and now the rear guard skill, he adds power. What was the point of that? He just wasted a counter blast. Okay, 1 damage. Ow. Damage check. No trigger. The rear guard attacks the Vanguard. No guard, take the hit. Ow. Damage check. Yes, heal trigger. I heal 1 damage. Powered Vanguard. Okay. And now it's my turn. I stand and draw. I'm going to ride from the right deck Avaricious Demonic Dragon, Greedon. I discard Crimson Expeller for the right deck cost. Riding. Greedon. Bushoku skill. I take a card from my hand, move to the soul. I move Greedon into the soul.
スキル発動
Added Bushiroad from my deck to hand. Nice. And now, with a Greedon in my soul, the amount of cards I need to lose the game is 7. Okay, I move Gunrum to the back row. Next up, I call... Okay, I'm going to call Bushiroad to the rear guard. And I'm calling... Let's see. I'm activating Gunrum skill. Soul Blast 3 cards. I Soul Blast my starting unit. Gomon and a perfect guard. To draw an extra card. I draw. Okay, next up I'm gonna call Stem Deviate. Wait, no, that's it. Not gonna call, just gonna leave my hand as is. So going to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard, 13k. Twin drive, first check. No trigger. And second check.
ドライブチェック
No trigger. Alright.
この思い
Here comes 1 damage to my opponent.
このカードに込める
And bam! Damage check. No, not a critical trigger. Not good. Alright, then my Vanguard skill. I Soul Blast 2, I Soul Blast Gomon and Bushiroad, setting all 4 of my rear guards into the soul.
ここからが本当の戦いスキル発動
And restand. Incane skill, I counterblast 2. My Vanguard gets plus 5,000 power and plus 1 drive.
パワープラス
Now Vanguard the Vanguard, 18k. He guards with front trigger and intercepts. Alright, so
ドライ
over
ブチェ
trigger
ッ
to
ク
pass. First check, no trigger.
ド
Second
ライ
check,
ブチェックよし
front trigger, wasted. Okay, power
パワ
added.
ープラス
And third check,
ドライブチェック
no trigger, perfect guard. Not bad, I guess. So that's the end of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn.
ターンエンド
My opponent rides the Grade 3, Hexa Orb Sorceress. Pentagon skill, he rearranges the top cards of his deck. He calls Posado, alright. Vanguard the Vanguard. I perfect guard with Recusal Hate. For my right, for the cost, I'm going to discard a... Let's see, I'll discard a critical trigger.
完全
Perfect
カー
guard.
ドライブチェック
With first check, no trigger. Aegis Mare, not good.
ドライブチェッ
Second
ク
check. Grade 2, okay. No triggers, so attack blocked. And now, here comes an attack from Fasado. No guard, gonna take the hit.
ドノーガード
Ow!
ダメー
Damage
ジチェッ
check.
クヒールトリガー
Heal trigger. Not bad, I heal 1 damage. Power to Vanguard.
パワープラス
Okay.
スキルを発動
Fasado skill, he counter charges and soul charges. He soul charges a Fasado, alright. My turn, I draw. I'm going to Persona Ride Greedon.
ペルソナライド
There we go. Draw a card. Next up, I'm gonna call Muka to the rear guard. Wait, not yet. I'm gonna call instead Time Jarrett to the rear guard.
コール
Time Jarrett skill, I move a card from my hand to the soul. I move Crimson Expeller
スキル発動
and draw a card. Nah, no, not my over trigger. Come on. Alright, then I'm gonna call Muka to the rear guard.
コール
Muka skill, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 2, I Soul Blast 1 Greedon, and one Expeller.
スキル発動
To Superior Call a card from my soul. I Superior Call Gunrum to the soul, from the soul, over here. Soul Charge.
スキル発動
Soul Charge Time Jarrett. Okay, next up, I'm gonna call Muka to the rear guard.
コール
Skill. Wait, not gonna activate skill. Okay. And next up, I'm gonna call Stem Deviate to the rear guard. Okay. That should do it. Now, alright, we're beginning the battle phase. My Vanguard, unsupported, attacks the Vanguard, 23k. Muka's skill, add 5,000 power to the Vanguard. One more time, plus 5,000 power. The attack goes through, twin drive, first check. No trigger, and second check. Yeah, heal trigger! I heal 1 damage, power to time Jared. Here comes 1 damage to my opponent. And here comes, bang, 1 damage. Ah, no, not a heal trigger, come on! Alright, then I activate Greedon skill, I Soul Blast 2 cards, I Soul Blast, Time Jared and Expeller, send 4 rear guards into the Soul. Here comes another attack from my Vanguard. Now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. Twin drive, first check. No trigger. And second check, come on. No trigger, alright. Here comes another attack, so 1 damage. Bam! Damage check. Oh, come on, another critical, seriously? Alright. Jared attacks the Vanguard. 1 damage. Damage check. Yeah, he wasted a critical. Alright, so that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. He calls, skill, look in the top card of his deck, leaving on top, okay. Vanguard the Vanguard, no guard, gonna take the hit. Hexa Orb, heal trigger, ah, come on, a heal. Power to rear guard, okay. Second, and Hexa Orb skill, adding more power to Fasado. Skill of Fasciata, Soul Blast to counter charge, second check. Oh, come on, another heal trigger, seriously? Hexa Orb skill, adding more power. You gotta be kidding me, double heal? 1 damage to me. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. And now, attack from Fasado. No guard, take the hit. Ow! Damage check. Critical trigger. I give all effects to my Vanguard. And now, Fasado's skill, he counter charges and soul charges, a heal, nice. Attacking the rear guard, 28k, okay, I guard with a heal, 38k, attack blocked. Alright. Now it's my turn, I stand and draw. Go into main phase. First up, I'm gonna call Muka to the rear guard. Muka's skill, I'm going to counter blast, soul blast, and superior. I'll call a card from my soul. I'm superior calling. Let's see, gonna superior call Muka to the rear guard. Not gonna activate skill. Then I call Goemon and Incane to the rear guards. Alright, that should do it. Now, beginning battle phase. First up, my Vanguard unboosted attacks the Vanguard, 18k. He doesn't guard. Twin drive, first check. No trigger. And second check. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. Alright, I give, let's see, critical to my Vanguard, power to time Jared. Here comes 2 damage. And bang! First check. No trigger. Fasado, second check. No trigger, nice, alright. Now, Greedon skill, I Soul Blast 2 cards. I'm Soul Blasting Incane and Gunrum, sending 4 rear guards from my rear guards into the soul.
ここからが本当の戦いスキル発動
Resetting my Vanguard. I activate the skill of Gomon, Counter Blast 1.
スキル発動
This turn, if my opponent wants to guard against my attacks, they must guard 2 or more. Okay, and now, one more time, Greedon attacks the
ヴァンガード
Vanguard.
にアタック
They guard 2 cards. Okay, 43k. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger. And second
ド
check.
ライブチェック
No trigger, okay. Attack blocked. And now, Time Jarrett attacks the Vanguard for 23k.
ヴァンガードにアタッ
He double guards. Alright, 43k. And that's the end of my turn. My opponent's
ク
turn.
ターンエンド
俺のターンドロー
He Persona rides, not good. He adds power and
スキル発動
kicks up skill. He's stacking a trigger on top. Alright, Vanguard the Vanguard. I perfect guard with Refusal Hate. And for the cost, I'm going to discard 1 critical. Perfect guard. First
ド
check.
ライブチェックだ
Critical trigger, not
ト
good.
リガーだ
He gives power to Fasado.
パワープラス
Okay, all picks to Fasado.
スキル発動
Hexorb skill, he
パワープラス
gives power to the Great 2 rear guard, Owain. Second
ドライ
check,
ブチェックだ
no trigger. And third check.
ドライブチェックだクリティカルトリガー
Ah, critical.
クリティカルプラス
He gives all effects
パワープ
to
ラス
Fasado. Hexorb skill, adding more power, okay,
パワー
to
プラス
Owain. And attack blocked. Next up,
ヴァンガー
the
ドに
rear
アタッ
guard attacks the Vanguard for 48k. I'm going to guard with, let's see, gonna guard with 2 front triggers, front trigger skill, adding more shield,
ガード
attack blocked.
クヴァ
And
ンガードに
now
アタック
Fasado attacks the Vanguard. Okay, I perfect guard for Refusal Hate. For the cost, I'm going to discard,
スキル発動
let's see, I discard an over trigger, perfect guard.
全ガード
Alright, attack blocked. Now it's my turn. I stand and draw.
私のターンドロー
Persona right, Greedon.
ペルソナライド
Draw a card. And now I call Time Jarrett.
コール
Not gonna activate Time Jarrett's skill. And next up, I'm gonna call Boshoku
コール
and Gomon to the rear guards.
コール
Alright. Then that should do it. Going to battle phase. First up, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. He double guards, okay.
ガード
ドライブ
Twin
チェッ
drive,
ク
first check.
フロントコ
Front
ースター
trigger, power to the front row.
パワープラス
And second check.
ドライブチェック
Critical trigger, all affects the Vanguard. All affects the Vanguard.
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
Okay. Attack blocked. Nope, the attack goes
私の
through.
ヴァンガー
Breaking through the guard. Shatter and 2 damage.
ダメージチェックだ
Critical trigger, nice. Wasted a trigger.
クリティカルプラスパワープラス
Okay, so that's the end. Winner me. So I got win, double trigger, attack 40,000 more power, perfect guarded 3 or more times, threw 3 or more times in a row. Opponent double critical, opponent double heal, did a Persona Rock, 10 turns passed, did a Superior Call, I retired 5 more closing units and drew 3 times in 1 turn. Got 3,300 BP, total 9,700 BP, press A to go next. Leaving the fight, returning to the fight menu.
どのファイター
Okay,
どのデッキにする
returning to main
ど
menu,
のファイトにする
going to edit deck menu.
どのデッキを見る
Alright, so I finished building the deck, explaining the card effects, and more or less test out the deck in front of you. So with that, that's all the time we have for today. So first off, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.